Giants fans, what's up? NYG-Funk here. This is it. This is the Jason Garrett episode. Jason Garrett, offensive coordinator. Not a lot of Jason Garrett supporters in Giants Nation. The Daniel Jones supporters growing thinner by the day, by the minute, by the snap, understandably so. But a lot of you, me included, don't think that Jason Garrett is doing him any favors. So let's see, if you're Jason Garrett, you get the job as the offensive coordinator. What's the talking points of Daniel Jones, your quarterback? You got to fix him. You got to get the most out of him. Okay, he turns the ball over. He turns the ball over at a ridiculous rate. So in theory, what do you do to fix a guy that turns the ball over as much as Daniel Jones did his rookie year? Well, the first thing that comes to mind is, let's get the ball out of his hands. Let's go to quick game. Let's make it easy for him. Let's make quick reads. Get the ball out of his hands. Sounds good in theory. Definitely prevents fumbles when you do that, when you go to quick game. But that's not truly understanding who your quarterback is, in my opinion. I know the guys that'll back me up more than anything on this are the guys over at Talking Giants, Bobby Skinner and Justin Pennick. They've been on this for weeks and weeks and weeks, and I have to just give them a shout out and a huge amount of credit for this video. You should go check out their piece. I'll try to find it and put it in the description or something, but Bobby actually did an analysis on routes in 2019 and 2020, where routes with two or more receivers running 15 yards or more. So it doesn't matter if they're getting targeted, just the fact that you have routes with 15 yards or more down the field. And Daniel Jones was way more successful on those routes, on those play calls that had multiple receivers 15 yards down the field. He was hitting something this year like a ridiculous 66% of his passes. And when you go downfield at a 66% clip, that makes you the best deep ball passer in the NFL, which Daniel Jones before Sunday was, and he didn't attempt many. So I haven't checked the stats, but I know he's going to remain in that top two, top three, literally the best deep ball passer in the league. Now, you can argue that, and it's worth arguing that efficiency would drop as you call more of those plays. And I understand that, but we should be calling more of those plays if he's literally the most successful at it when we do call them. We are not calling those types of plays. Daniel Jones, it's like they're trying to turn him into Drew Brees. It's like they're trying to turn him into a Tom Brady type, a very surgical, get the ball out of your hands, make a very quick read, methodically just chip your way down the field with slants, with curls, with flat routes, and be a surgical, quick game passer. If you go back to last year, that's not who Daniel Jones is. Even in his most successful plays of last year, where he threw 24 touchdowns in 12 games, it was by driving the ball down the field. It was never by dinking and dunking. He's not a dink and dunk quarterback. And I'm not here to defend Daniel Jones as the best thing since sliced bread. I'm not saying that we took the right guy. I'm not saying he's the franchise quarterback that we hang our hat on and everything. But I am here to say that Jason Garrett, I do not believe, has designed an offense based around what this quarterback does well, and instead is asking him to do things that is contrary to what his strengths are, which are driving the football down the field and making big plays, which the Giants have desperately needed all season. And pretty much all their games where we have put points on the board, which we have struggled to do, we've had big plays on those drives, whether it's big plays through the running game or big plays through the passing game. We have never, outside of maybe capitalizing on turnovers, just had these long drives where we're just dinking and dunking down the field. It just simply has not worked. It hasn't worked. So why do you do this? I get the ball out of his hands. If you get the ball out of his hands, he can't fumble. It's safer. These are safer routes. Are they safer? I mean, they don't really appear safer on film, but they also don't That doesn't bear out on the routes that no one is running. So you have 0 guys running 15 yards downfield. The interception rate is up, and it makes sense. We'll go through it as you watch on film. So here you go. Here's a play against Cincinnati. I don't understand these concepts. You have Golden Tate coming across in motion, running to the flat, but you look at everybody else in the route. Okay, so good play on the ball by the defender, but even if you complete that, the risk reward there, you're not getting anything out of throwing the ball in that situation. You can just run the ball and have a limited amount of success. And this shows up again and again and again all season long. Here's another one. We go shotgun, changing protections. Daniel Jones, look at the routes. All of the routes, very short. RPO. RPO is a quick game concept. That's not Daniel Jones. He's not a precision quarterback. So in an RPO here, that's a high snap. That doesn't help matters any. But it's a run-pass option. You're either going to give it to the running back. You're reading this guy. You're reading this guy right here. You're either going to give it to the running back, and then if he stays, you're going to pull it out of the running back and then throw the quick slant. You're reading this guy. So if he stays and shays to this slant route, then you just handed Alfred Morris. Even if that's complete, that's not Daniel Jones's game. And I just don't see the benefit in a power running team, especially to run a quick game where everyone has learned and is sitting on all of these routes. I don't get it. Here's another one. Everybody, 4 curls on this play. These are all 1st and 10s where you can be running play action, you can be running the ball, but if you're going to throw, you can run play action out of that because we are a power running team. You can go up top, and we come out and consistently run guys on 4 curls. It just doesn't make any sense. And then you'll see as we go further and further, look at how they're playing us. They have 1 safety high, and everybody is right at the marker, right at the sticks, because they watch us on film and say that's what the Giants are going to do. When you do that, everyone is covered. If you just run 4 curl routes and turn around and throw the ball, it's a very limited chance that you're going to make anything happen. And even if you do complete it, it's a minimally rewardable endeavor to throw the ball in these routes. And it's also susceptible to tip picks, which have happened. This is the thing that frustrates most Giants fans, especially the ones that really pay attention. And then here you go. This is a 2nd and 6. A 2nd and 6. You drop back to throw. The Bengals know what we're doing. Look, everyone is at the sticks. There's nothing downfield. Checking down to the flat. Gallman drops it. Same thing here. This is on the goal line. This is 3rd down on the goal line. What is this play call? Who designs these routes? Look at this. Everyone just sit right at the goal line. That's all the Giants are going to do. Even if you complete any of those, you're kicking a field goal. That's garbage. And then we're in a scramble drill. That's garbage play call. That's 3rd and goal. You run to the goal line and just turn around. It's really hard to wrap your mind around what we're thinking we're going to get out of this quarterback, and we're not really coaching or calling anything to his strengths. The other thing I'll say is that when you watch on film, we do lack a true number 1 wide receiver, and I'll give Garrett credit for that, but it's not like we have complete trash at wide receiver when we're healthy. We do lack the bona fide stud, no BS 1A wide receiver, and that hurts. And you don't see a lot of teams having to roll coverage to a certain side, which can make things easier, diversify your play calls. But still, when we have gone down the field, when we have made the defense stretch vertically, it's equaled success. When we haven't, it's just this right here. Even if you complete this, look at these routes. I mean, I understand the concept here. You're going to put the back out in the flat. You're going to try to get that linebacker right there, Simmons. As soon as he goes, you move him with your eyes, and then you come back down. But even that, what are the other routes doing? Everybody is running to the same level and turning around. And then that's forcing the quarterback to be super precise for not the biggest of rewards. If you're going to put it in the air with a power running team, you're not trying to throw a lot. So when you do throw, you should be trying to be aggressive with the football. I don't understand why we're running to the sticks. There's another one. This is later in the year. Obviously, we're playing the Cardinals at this point. They've scouted us. This is a 3rd and 4. Everybody runs a 4-yard route or less. They're not afraid. They only play one high. We don't threaten that guy at all. This is a clean enough pocket. We could get something down the field. What are we do? What are these routes? They are all over that. This is garbage. This is garbage offense. Now, we've completed a lot of these, but don't really play the results here. Don't worry about the results. Worry about the actual design. Because some of them I'm going to show you we are going to complete. And we have hit some along the way. But we haven't hit them at a good enough rate. We're one of the worst offenses in the league. We're the 31st offense, literally, in the league. We're 14th in rushing. And that's only recently. Our yards average per pass is 30th. Our total passing is 30th. We're sacked 31st in the league. So that's another thing. The quick game, that's not, when people sit on that, and the quarterback has to make a quick decision. If they're sitting on that, then he has to double clutch it, and then he's searching for answers. That's going to lead to more sacks and interceptions. It does not really add up. And you can try to defend Jason Garrett all you want. Even if you take his best plays, they're too few and far between. Here you go again. You try to get Engram out in the flat here. Okay, so you put it in the running back's stomach and you try to get him out. Even if that's not batted down. Pretend that's not batted down. What are these guys doing? What is Tate doing? What is Shepard doing? We're not even involving them in the play. If Engram is able to catch that, first of all, that's a pick six. That's a pick six if he doesn't bat that down. And if it's not, even if Engram makes a crazy play and catches that, what are you getting out of putting the ball in the air there? What are you getting? You're not getting much, if anything. It's just, and it shows up. You'll see over and over and over again. Here's again. Everybody run to the sticks. Everybody turn around. We complete this ball. Engram gets a little banged up. Okay, so we complete. This is what you would consider a success in a Jason Garrett offense. We complete this ball, and then we're in 3rd down. I mean, it's just the risk versus the reward. And in these situations, how many times have we seen a Giants receiver with running a quick curl route, which is not this guy's game. Evan Engram is not Jason Witten, and to pretend that he is and try to force him to play that kind of role is just asinine. And there's so many tip picks with all that traffic right there when he tries to be forced to run those quick, get to the spot, get your head around. The ball's going to be right on you. That's Jason Witten's game. And Jason Garrett had Jason Witten forever in Dallas. And you know, he had an awesome career. Evan Engram, anybody who watches the Giants knows that's definitely not his game. He's a vertical player. You got to get him going down the field. I'll just keep showing you another RPO. Look, that's not Daniel Jones's game. This is defended really, really well. But even if it's not, that's a minimal gain. That's such a mindset of dink and dunk down the field, methodically dink and dunk down the field. Here's another one. This is a successful play. This is on a 3rd down. Thankfully, it's the Bengals. They blitz, and Golden Tate's able to turn around and catch this. But this still, by design, he gets tackled short of the sticks. I think we got a good spot on the forward progress here. But that's the same thing. It's so hard. Even the ones that are converted, we're throwing right at the sticks with guys turning around. Look, there's another one. Everyone, look at the levels. Look at the levels of the routes. This is a really good job by Daniel Jones. But look at how much work has to go into this with all 11 guys. Look at the guys up front have to do their job, push pass. He has to climb the pocket. No one is really available. This is such a long developing route to get a 3rd and 5 conversion. It should be easier than this. We should have more answers than this. I'm only showing the plays that I don't like and the designs I don't like, but they weren't hard to find. They should be harder to find. Same thing here. This is another one. We get a catch here in the slot. Golden Tate coming back. Where are the routes? Everything is so short. They're not threatened by us at all. If I can find these on Game Pass so easily, what do you think the guys that get paid to do this do? I mean, they are sitting on these routes. We've been running them from the beginning of the season. Same thing. I mean, look at this. This is a pick by TJ Watt. Like I said, don't play the results. It's a hell of a play. We don't have any film on Jason Garrett yet. But look, even if Engram, you catch that, what, you getting 6 yards, 7 yards? Probably not even. They're all over that. And that's what we put out there week 1. We consistently have showed the same thing. That's what I'm talking about also. This is Evan Engram right here. The same concept. The back goes to the flat. You read that linebacker. He clears. Okay, put it on Evan Engram. This is Colt McCoy. Still, first of all, that's short of the sticks. He's going to get tackled. Second of all, that's Evan Engram. That's not his game. Third, look at everyone else sitting at the sticks and what can happen in that situation. Boom, a tip, a pick. That's exactly what did happen. I mean, honestly, there's not much more that I need to show, I don't think, at this point. It is a problem. It is a problem, the Jason Garrett offense. The numbers speak for themselves. The film bears it out. The stats, when you put it to the film, all of it adds up that we're not using the quarterback correctly. We just are not playing to his strengths. And we're asking him to do things that he is not, those are not his strengths. And by the way, that doesn't mean if we just throw the ball down the field, we're just going to be Patrick Mahomes in them. But we are not going to be the last offense in the league. The Cincinnati game, was the last game he played fully healthy. This is the game he got hurt in. And this is where it kind of started to feel like he was at least getting this offense. And he was getting more responsibility at the line of scrimmage. And he could get out of certain play calls that he didn't like. And this is when it was most encouraging that it felt like we might be turning a corner with Daniel Jones, because it seemed like he had command of this offense. Unfortunately, that's right when it started to feel like his arrow was pointed up, is when he suffered the hamstring. And that all came to a crashing halt. Obviously, he did not pick up where he left off against the Cardinals. If you go check out the offensive line video, I did a breakdown of all the sacks. And Daniel Jones was clearly limited by the hamstring. But also, we just did not block well for him in that game. We didn't get him a chance no matter what routes we were running. But it was really disheartening. This game right here is right when it seemed like he was starting to get it together. This was a 3rd and 6. We get Evan Engram one-on-one out here. And look, it's not just routes at the sticks. But if you look all the way back to the beginning of the play, this is how they come out. They know us on film. They got one safety high. So we motion the back in. It's obviously man-to-man. He clearly has the freedom to change the play. And I'm not going to pretend that I know exactly what he's doing, because I don't. But if you look at all of the changes, it looks like he gets out of the play. Ingram's looking over. He gives him the hand signal late. And I mean, I only can assume that he changes this play because he likes one-on-one with Evan Engram. And we're not just running 4 curl routes at the sticks on 3rd and 4. We go down the field and something good happens. Now, I know that you're playing the results there. Oh, big play. That's not the point. The point is that there are way too many examples on the film that we are just running the same things, and teams are going to catch on to it. And it's not safer. It's not at all safer. And I know the Talking Giants guys are going to echo this. And I have to shout them out because I listen to them and I read all of their analytical stuff, and it does bear out. It helps me watch the game. And then I try to put it on also collaboratively to give you guys the picture of when everybody's just yelling, oh, Jason Garrett sucks, Jason Garrett sucks. Well, why does he suck? Why don't we like him? Here's an interesting concept with a jet sweep. This we actually do get some stuff run at the sticks, but at least it's creative. So you get a jet sweep coming across. This is a 1st and 10. So this puts the defense actually in a bind. You get a play action. The linebackers are dealing with play action. If they're in zone, the corner has to respect the jet sweep. The linebackers, they're in a bind right there. So then you have a route in the middle of the field. You have guys past the sticks. You have both flats creatively, have players in the flats that have to be respected from the snap. And look at how much more safe this throw actually is. Where is this? Where's the motion before the plays? That's a first down. An easy one for a young quarterback. Where is that? We need more of that. We need so much more of that. This is, again, another one where it looked like Daniel Jones liked what he saw, single high this time. And this is where another one where it just looked like he's really, really putting it together. If you look at the line here, he had motion Dion Lewis in. So he's assuming that everybody's going to sit on the flat routes as they have all year. So he knows he's dealing with 30 at the top. That's all I'm dealing with. I got to deal with 30. So he checks Evan Engram to confirm, yes, we are in man-to-man. So then he comes back to the right and looks to hold 30 in the middle of the field. Okay, look, I'm holding him. He knows where he's going right away. I've got the matchup I want. And those are the plays that we have just lacked consistently all year. And when we have taken our shots, we are literally hitting them at a higher rate than anybody else in the league. All of these throws I'm showing you, they all led to touchdowns. They all led to touchdowns or iced the game. If you throw the ball deep, even if he doesn't come down with it, at least by putting it in the air, it made sense to go down the field. You might get a pass interference. You might get a big play. You're not just running multiple people to the sticks turning around. It's the thing that just lacks creativity completely. I don't want Daniel Jones to go through 3 coordinators in 3 years, but I also don't want him to be stuck in the same offense that is just trash, all for the sake of not changing anything. I mean, you see rookie quarterbacks come in consistently to the NFL and have success. So I'm not going to be afraid to move off of Jason Garrett. I desperately hope they do move off of Jason Garrett. He is trash, and he's the only dude that Joe Judge did not hire. We have to make changes. You can't. This is unacceptable. We're one of the worst offenses in the league. The only offense worse than us is the Jets, and they're literally trying to lose. We're trying to win the division, supposedly. I mean, you guys talk about it. You guys let me know what you think. Let me know what you see. These plays weren't very hard to find. There was a common theme. Yeah, so there you guys have it, man. There's a lot to unpack there, but I feel like it all bears out on film. It bears out statistically. It bears out on film. We are not creative offensively. There's not enough motion, in my opinion. We run the ball extremely well with limited talent. We run the ball incredibly well. Our offensive line has been gelling. They need to run the ball early to get into a rhythm, and that helps them pass block. So if you're a power running team and you can move the ball on the ground, it stands to reason that when you throw, you should be throwing aggressively. We are not a team that struggles to run the ball, so we don't need to have the pass be the running game, as they said in the West Coast offense. Okay, so they're going to throw a bunch of 6-yard passes, and that's going to substitute as the running game, like Andy Reid used to do when he was in Philadelphia, like the Niners made so famous with Bill Walsh. They didn't have power running games. So they used long handoffs and threw the ball through a lot of screens, through a lot of quick game to basically substitute a running game. That's not who we are. That's not who our quarterback is. He's never shown the ability to be this super precise Drew Breesy, Tom Brady kind of guy that just gets rid of the ball lightning quick and we go down with 10, 12 play drives. When we throw the ball in the air, we should be trying to do something with it. We have the power running game to get 3 and 4 yards a pop. We have that in the bag. We do that consistently. And when we do take shots this year, once again, I can't not reiterate this enough. We hit them at a rate higher than any other team in the league. We don't do them enough. We're probably hitting them because people are giving them to us. They're just sitting on all the short stuff. So they're basically daring us, go down the field. When we do, we've had an incredible amount of success. So why not continue to do so? There's so many benefits to it. If you start hitting people up top more consistently, or at least just have the threat of throwing the ball down the field, you're going to get a couple pass interferences just because that's the NFL. That's going to loosen up the defense. That's going to let you go back to the quick game when you need to, because you have to have a diverse offense. You can't just throw the ball down the field. I completely understand that. you're going to have to throw some quick game. You're going to have to throw some routes where nobody's running over 15 yards. But you can't do it so consistently. And if you attack people down the field at an above average rate, they're going to have to respect that. And then when you do go to the quick game, that's going to be more available. There's going to be a lot more room to work with for the receivers. I do understand that we don't have the bona fide stud number one wide receiver. And that's a huge talking point on all Giants Nation. Who's going to be our bona fide number one? I think that we've all settled on Darius Slayton is not that guy. I think Darius Slayton is very Amani Toomer-ish in that he can be a very good number two and has had years where he is our pseudo number one and has performed well. But I think you unlock Darius Slayton if you have a bona fide number one into an offense, a guy that they have to highlight, a guy they have to double and bracket and roll coverage to, that frees up opportunities for everyone else, whether that's Engram, whether that's Shepard, whether that's Slayton, whether that's Saquon when he's back and gets involved. All of that stuff can open up. I understand the lack of talent there, but that doesn't give you an excuse for what you see on film. You can overcome that lack of talent creatively, and we just have not done that at all. Another thing is just utilizing personnel. We've already talked about Daniel Jones. That's not who he is as a quarterback. He's not a precision passer. We're asking him to be one because of the conventional wisdom of, oh, this guy fumbles all the time and this guy throws so many picks. Well, let's make it easy. Let's make it safe. Let's throw 5-yard routes. 5-yard routes are only safe if they're there. If everybody sits on those 5-yard routes and crowds the line of scrimmage, how safe are they? They're going to get tipped. They're going to go up in the air. It's not safe at all. It's the opposite of safe. It's safer to throw the ball 50 yards down the field one-on-one than it is to throw a 5-yard curl with 9 guys there, with 8 guys there, with 7 guys there. It is literally safer to do that. And if you hit that big play, you actually got something out of it. You got a chunk play, which leads to touchdowns this year. That's proven out. I mean, you don't have to hit them at a ridiculous clip. If you're throwing all these short routes, you better be hitting them at a 65 to 70% clip for it to make sense. We're not doing that even close to that. If you throw the ball down the field consistently, even if you only hit 1 of 4, if you hit 1 of 4 of those attempts, if they're 30-yard plays, you would have had to hit 5 6-yard routes to get that same 30 yards. Mathematically, it doesn't add up. Now, you can play that way if you're getting a 70% completion rate and your quarterback is fitting that in there 6 yards at a time, 6 yards at a time, 6 yards at a time. You can get those 30 yards. But that's not our game. That's not our quarterback. Those aren't our receivers. The only guy that even excels in those kind of routes is Shepard. And people are sitting on him doing all of that. Everybody else is really, they're not that quick twitch, get in and out of their break, create separation in the intermediate part of the field. They're long speed, athletic, bigger, go up and get the ball receivers, especially Engram, who we're trying to make Jason Witten. Ingram's an athlete. Engram has long speed. He can go up and high point balls. You can get him in mismatches and stretch the defense and make them pay and make them keep that safety high and respect that. And on the other side, you have Slayton, who's a long speed guy. He's not a quick twitch guy. He's not a run after the catch guy. He is a long speed, go deep down the field guy. You can use them to threaten the defense and loosen up the coverage underneath. And we just don't see that. I don't understand. I'm not trying to pretend that, I'm better. Jason Garrett knows more football than 10 of me. But I still see what I see on film. And it just doesn't add up to, we're not playing to the strengths of our players. And we have an awesome power running game that going deep makes sense off of that. It's one strength versus another, and it complements each other very well, because if you run the ball well, you're going to face those 8-man fronts. You're going to have the opportunity to go up top. You don't even need to do play action. Usually, eventually, if you run the ball so much, they're going to stack that front. Now, this is just an isolated Jason Garrett on film so you can get the picture. This isn't defending Daniel Jones. This isn't saying, oh, Daniel Jones would be out here just slinging it. But it is to say that Daniel Jones isn't being helped, in my opinion, by the coordinator. If you go back once again to last year, this dude threw 24 touchdowns and 12 starts. He did have a lot of fumbles, and he did have a lot of picks. I understand that. Well, actually, he only had 12 picks, but he did have a lot of fumbles, and then that was the talking point, and it will be for the rest of his career. Every time he fumbles, it's going to be, oh, that's the dude who fumbles, because he did it in his rookie year, deservedly so. So I get the concept of get the ball out of his hands, make it easier on him, but that's really not his game, and it's not doing your homework. And our offensive line, not the Arizona game withstanding, because they were absolute trash. I'll put a link to that video. You guys can tell me what you think if you agree with my assessment of how that game went. But coming into that game, the last 5 weeks, our offensive line has been playing amazing. Running the ball, throwing the ball. It didn't matter. Pass protection has gotten so much better. Andrew Thomas has been playing like a Pro Bowler. And we've played some amazing pass rushing fronts this year, whether that's Pittsburgh or Washington or Dallas or Philly and the guys that they bring. We play the Rams with Aaron Donald. We play Khalil Mack. We have played a gauntlet of good pass rushers and held our own. Early in the year, you definitely can see that we were still gelling as an offensive line. The rookies were rookies, but every single player has shown vast improvement. And it was a big, humbling experience when Arizona came in there and did that to us. Our quarterback, before he was hurt, looked like the arrow was pointing up. The offensive line was gelling. And then when Daniel Jones tore his hamstring, we just relied on that defense, and we were all riding high because we went into Seattle and we got that huge win. But all that came to a crashing halt against Arizona, and we have to, that's legit. That's a legit loss. We can't run from that and point to one guy. That was a team loss. No one came to play except the defense. The defense gave up 2 touchdowns. We should have got blown out by 40 points in that game. They did enough to keep us in the game, and our offense failed us over and over and over again. And in that game, less than any, that's why it's not really just a reaction. Oh, we lost, so let's make a bunch of negative Jason Garrett videos. Like most of Twitter, like most of, the reactionary online Giants crowd is just, let's get mad as hell at somebody. But this is more of a season-long progressive. We've seen it over 3/4 of the season, the same thing showing up. And even in the wins, even when we were having success, these still were talking points amongst the hardcore Giants fans. I don't know about Jason Garrett. He still isn't fixing anything. He still isn't changing anything. All we're doing is running the ball down people's throats, which, that's good that we are doing that. But as far as the passing game, the warts that have been there all season are still showing up. And despite us having success by going deeper down the field, we just continue not to do it. And once again, shout out Talking Giants, shout out Justin Pinnock and Bobby Skinner. You guys, if you're not following them and you're a Giants fan, I don't know what you're doing. These guys come out every week with amazing content. They inspired me to get into this stuff. I hope I can provide some kind of insight. But yeah, go check those guys out, man. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all of it. I'll link it all up in the description. They did an awesome study. They do awesome analytical work every single week. They did a study that influenced this video on the very concept of not going down the field enough, or not even having enough plays called with people running down the field. We have way too many routes with 0 players running 15 yards. 0, not 1, 0 guys running past the sticks, running, threatening the defense. Just basically submitting and saying, yeah, we're going to dink and dunk down the field. So yeah, shout out to those guys, man. They do great work. Follow them. Follow me, NYG-Funk. NYG-Funk on every social media. Get the commenting, liking, sharing, all that stuff. Not for the clout, man. I just do this because I want people to be more engaged, more informed. I just look at it like, what would I want? Before I started doing this, I would just hit the internet, try to find anything. And I try to bring that to what I do now. What would I want as a Giants fan? What would I want to be provided? What is the nerdy, super detailed stuff that I always crave? So I'm trying to bring that to you, man. I'm really enjoying doing it. We got 3 games left. The season's not over. The division race is the division race. I'm not as concerned about that. I was hyped, yes, emotional. Yeah, we could win the division, go to the playoffs. But the biggest disappointing about the loss against the Cardinals is the way we played. And the way we lost. And we have 3-game season to find out what we're about. Hopefully Daniel Jones can go out there so we can evaluate this offense in its entirety without having too many starts where he's not there. Because he's going to be the quarterback next year. Like it, love it, whatever, hate it. Daniel Jones is probably going to be starting for the Giants next year. I hope that Jason Garrett is not brought back. I don't care about an offense and continuity. There's so many rookie quarterbacks come in the league and are immediately successful. They're all in new offenses in year one. I'm not scared of a new offense if it's a better offense. I'm not keeping an offense that is 31st in the league because it's the same one. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But that's just one man's opinion. You guys let me know what you see on film. You guys let me know your complaints. You guys let me know if you agree or disagree. And let's beat Cleveland, man. Let's beat Cleveland. And more importantly, let's play good football. And let's continue to fight. All right. Go Giants. Peace.